Alright, hello everybody and welcome back. It is Jeff again, coming to you from the Mindcrack server. And, is that a spider hidden in here? Yeah, you jerk. Yeah, you drop down. Oh man, and you knocked me across the way here. There, taken care of. I just spent some time over at Doc's Snow Farm and gathered me a bunch of snow. Let's turn this baby off. Oh yes, that works beautifully. Before we go out there and start working on the snow, we are going to tear down this wall and extend it out so that it actually looks not even exactly, because I don't want it to have necessarily a walkway like the other one has. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I want to do about that, but I got to get rid of this border, otherwise it looks way off balance. So this should only take a couple seconds here, and there we go. Yeah, these are what have to come off, which is unfortunate because it looks pretty good, but if I can't have it on one side, then I can't have it on the other side either. And I'm just debating if I'm going to replace right into here with it, because that would essentially be where this wall should be. How did I only get 5 pieces of obsidian? It's kind of weird. Oh, and of course, that's the one I did not need to be up here. Come on. There we go. Of course, I'm going to run into stupid problems no matter what I do with things, because that is the one piece I did not need to be there. So we'll take this now, and this will go... Okay, that's why, because I got my other ones in the chest. For some reason, I was thinking it was wider than that. But, I got a couple more obsidian sitting right here. And boom, 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 boom. All right, there we go. So this is... Oh, he poked at me, and Vex is on, and he poked at me in Skype. How does he poke? Oh, hold on one second, folks. All right, hello everybody, and welcome back. Well, you've already been here for a little bit, but things have changed. I had a conversation with somebody. We actually did some stuff together. He came over, Vex came over and visited and did a lot of random things over in my base. So you won't see that right now, though. You'll see that later. It was recorded. You guys will get the full experience of that. Had a lot of fun. I actually don't hang out with Vex very often. I've hung out with him a little bit in some UHCs that we've done. It's about to turn night. I'm going to wait so I can sleep. I've hung out with him a little bit in UHCs, so we've talked to each other, but we actually just, not only did we record for a while, we had like long conversations afterwards. It's really cool. Vex is a really awesome guy, but I hope you guys enjoyed that content, but you will see it tomorrow. He convinced me to expand this base out a little bit and change some of the way that this is going to progress in the future, so you will see that again in a little bit. But what I need to do is I need to work on finishing up this igloo, or working on the igloo a little bit more. Oh, I forgot. There's people on. Chad is on. I love Chad, but damn you, Chad. You are on when I am trying to record, and it is not going to allow me to sleep to give this recording a go. Now, I realized I'm up here. I made the next layer of the igloo off camera, and unfortunately, something is wrong, and I don't know exactly what it is. So I made the next layer. I started working on the following layer, but I need to go back and find out right here. One layer down. Let me get to that layer in my plots thing. So 18. It was supposed to be 3 wide from the center, which the center is 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. The center is here. So this thing, oh, Chad left. I can go sleep. This will help me tremendously. And I'm getting a lot of lag right now, which is really annoying. I'm not sure why. Hopefully it's not because I've added these banners, because that would be extremely annoying. My internet was cutting out, and my voice quality was getting a little bad on Vex's end, apparently. So hopefully, when we were talking, so hopefully my internet's not about to go out on me because I want to get you guys some content to watch today, and I will be unable to do that if I can't get on the server. That was okay. That's got to be the lag causing that why he blew up, because I'm nowhere near him. But so here we go. Let's get back up here. So somewhere in this layer, and I didn't realize it until the very end when I came around. Somewhere in this layer, so I bet it goes right that direction, and that direction is okay as well. So something in here. 1, 2, 3. This is not supposed to be here. It should be 4 from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, is that fixed? I think that was it. Okay, that was easy. Fixed up. I apparently had put some of those off just a little bit from each other. So, hopefully that's good. So what do we got now on said layer that I'm working on? So I can work and talk with you guys all at the same time. Got to keep an eye on this corner too. What's up, Zombert? So 3, 2, and then 1, and then a 3. 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, middle, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, middle, 1. Perfect. So this is working great. So it's funny, I will tell you, at work, I have a legacy at my work now, which is awesome. I love it. I love it. It's so great. It's for something so stupid as well, but since I'm like, one of the IT people that had been, in charge of implementing a lot of the solution that was there, a lot of people, they still come up to me and ask me all the questions because they know I have the knowledge of it when I'm there. So a lot of stuff, and this is kind of tooting my own horn a little bit, but I'm willing to right now. A lot of things, technical issues with the health record system at the hospital go for 6 weeks of people just learning how to deal with them. If they come up, they go for 6 weeks of people learning how to deal with them and workarounds to make them happen. And then in about the 6 weeks that I'm down there for, I work on getting a lot of that stuff fixed and taken care of when I find out that there was a problem with something. And that's been kind of the run going on since I've been doing this back and forth thing. It's kind of cool. I like being the guy who can kind of swoop in and fix some things. And a couple times ago when I was there, one of the major issues that people had is at my hospital, we have a lot of what they call boarder patients. And boarder patients are patients who are supposed to be admitted, but there is not a bed for them yet. So they board in the emergency department. We've had such a boarding problem where it will be, we've had people in the emergency department for 36 48 hours waiting for a bed, which is ridiculous, but unfortunately it does happen. I mean, when that many people get sick and the hospital gets that full, there's nothing you can't do anything about it. It's just the way that it is. 2, 3, there we go. So what they've been doing is they give us these boarder nurses, and they'll send basically nurses from the floor down into the emergency department. We have to give them a section of the emergency department, which kind of, it's almost counterintuitive in a partial way because they now take over a chunk of the emergency department, and therefore we have less places to take care of the emergency patients in. But at the same time, they are doing more of the stuff that would normally get done on the floor with the patients who are admitted. I mean, they were admitted for a reason, but there's so much stuff that we do. There's only so much stuff we do in the emergency department that's based on your long-term hospital stay, because that's not what we're equipped for. That's not what we're meant to do. We got to take care of all the, the new people who are coming in on a regular basis, because that's what we do. We stabilize, we move on with life. It sounds like weird, but that's kind of what the life of an emergency department nurse is. So either way, with the new system, when you basically keep a track of the patients and know who you still have left waiting to be seen based on if a nurse has signed up for the patients yet. So you look on the board and you say, like, look, all these patients have nurses assigned to them, which means they are being taken care of in the emergency department. These ones that don't have nurses assigned to them, they are ones that we still need to get taken care of. Now, funny enough, the system does not allow you to make temporary accounts, which is good. I mean, it's for safety. But in order to have a nurse sign up for a patient, you have to have a login in the computer system. And then you set your login to give it a visual style of what you want it to look like. So people will look and be like, look, Jeff has this patient. His color and his naming convention that he went by today is Sano, and it's a black background with white lettering on it. So for one, you want it to be different than everybody else's because you don't want to just look at a straight up, spreadsheet view of something and everything just blends together and looks the same, because that doesn't help at all either. So you can give yourself, your color. I go by Sano at work normally when I'm there as opposed to Jeff, because there's multiple other Jeffs who work there. There's multiple Jesses that work there. So if you write Jeff or Jess on something, very often people will get them confused with each other. It's kind of funny the way that happens, but it happens a lot that people will call for Jess and they end up giving the phone to me because Jess sounds enough like Jeff where they're like, oh, I thought it was for you, and it causes mass chaos. So I usually go by Sano when I'm at work to try to alleviate some of that confusion, and that's the color scheme that I go by. Well, when we transferred these people over to MedSurge, one of the first requests that they made in the system was, can you add a MedSurge login or something, or a MedSurge person, so that when we log into a system, we can, or when we transfer these patients over to MedSurge, we can actually mark them up as being in MedSurge so we know that they're being taken care of and don't just think that they're patients who are sitting in the waiting room who don't have a nurse assigned to them yet. And it was, oh, no, you can't do that. That would be completely against, against the rules in order to make making a temporary account and things like that. So people basically have been trying to work around this problem since the system was implemented. Well, a couple weeks ago, I decided that I was in triage one day and I wasn't actually going to be using my login. So I said, you know what? I'm going to make my login. I'm going to change it so it doesn't say Sano anymore. I'm going to change the color scheme to something off the wall that people don't use. So it's like a nasty yellow color with like black lettering on it, because I didn't want it to be something that people might actually use. And I changed my name in that to MedSurge and said, just use my login, like assign the patients to me if you transfer them over to MedSurge, so it'll show up and it'll show them as being on MedSurge. And I did, and people loved it. It made their life so much easier to be able to keep track of that. The problem is, the next day when I was working and I wasn't in triage, I had to use my own login and assign things to myself, so they couldn't do that anymore. And people kept coming up to me and being like, Jeff, if I assign patients to you, they actually become your patients now. And I'm like, yeah, that's what's going to happen. They're going to become my patients now because I'm actually working today. So I thought long and hard about how do I get a solution to this? And I realized I have 2 logins because of the fact that I work in multiple different locations. One of the logins does not have anything to do with the emergency department. And so if I tell people, if I change that I logged into the emergency department system with it, and I don't even have access to everything, but I have access enough to be able to change the fact that if somebody assigned a patient to that particular login, that it would show up and be the MedSurge login. So I went through and changed that one to a MedSurge login and said, if you want to start putting people on this MedSurge team, just start using my name and doing it. But it's got to be my secondary account. Like, long story short, everybody basically figured out how to do it. So for months, people have been utilizing my name as something. And it doesn't assign me to the patient in any way on the electronic medical record. So them doing that isn't saying that I'm taking care of the patient. It's linked in a completely different way. It's all specifically for a visual aspect of the system. Well, I didn't think about it, but I was back up in the ICU, then I was back down in the emergency department, then I was back up in the ICU, and I just came back down to the emergency department. And it's so funny because one thing I didn't realize was going to happen was there's a bunch of new nurses there now. They have no idea who I am. One of the new nurses I don't know why I just did that. I was working with one of the new nurses the other day, and she was like, oh, I'm Kelly. you know, we haven't met before, and I was like, oh, I'm Jeff, and she looked at my name tag, and I'm one of the few nurses who has their last name actually on their name tag, because in the emergency department, you're allowed to not have your name on your name tag, but since I'm not officially in the emergency department, I have to have my last name on there, which doesn't bother me. I'm not so worried about people stalking. We've had stalking incidents before where patients have stalked their nurses and found out where they lived through social media and things like that because they knew their full name and could do that. It's kind of a scary world, but I'm not so worried about that happening, so it doesn't bother me too much. And she looked at my name tag and goes, Jeff Sano. She's like, you're the guy that, well, you got the same name as that guy that is all the med-surg patients. And I was like, I didn't realize what she meant at first. I was like, what do you mean the med-surg patients? And it clicked in. Oh, you didn't know who I was, but you've been trained. It's now part of the training that they put these people under my name in the emergency department. So for ever and always until they take my login out of the system. Like, and it's gonna, if I ever quit the hospital, it's gonna be a while before they get around to actually pulling, like, they do pull logins, but they don't do it like instantaneously. It takes a little bit for them to go through and do their, you know, cleanups or whatever. Even if I quit, for a long time, my legacy at the hospital is going to live on because it's already based on people who, they don't know who I am, but they already know my name. My name is one of those things that will, for a very long time, it's going to ring out in the emergency department that it will always be used. I have a legacy. I have a legacy of something, and I think it's awesome. Granted, people might not know who I am, but I like the fact that people now are being introduced to me and being like, oh my God, it's like a, you know, you meet a celebrity for the first time. Granted, I'm not a celebrity by any stretch of the imagination, but people are like, oh my God, you're Jeff Sano. Like, I've been utilizing your name for a long time, but you're Jeff Sano. Like, I think it's pretty cool that that happens. And I really wonder how long this is going to go on for, or what they're going to do when I'm actually gone, when they do pull my name from the system, because not many other people, there are a couple other people who have secondary accounts, but most of them, ones who have secondary accounts, have them because they need them. And then you're still just going to base forever on the fact of, if you quit, then we have to find somebody new, somebody's name to put these under. And if you quit, we'll have to find somebody else's name to put things under. And it's going to be, eventually they're going to have to fix the system. And it's one of the major issues and problems I have with the electronic health record industry and system. I think I only need one more layer of this before I'm tapped out on where I can go. So let's go. Is this actually, take it in? Nope. Same layer, starting with 3s. This one's going to look really cool. So, I'm very happy with myself. And like I said, for the dumbest reason in the world, but I have a legacy that will live on at my hospital. And not many people, not everybody can say that. It makes me feel kind of good. Everybody wants to leave their legacy in some type, or in some way, shape, or form. Don't lie. Everybody likes to know that they're remembered, whether it's for what they did, or if they just happen to sneak themselves into a way to get, like, you know, have their legacy live on, or what. It's, everybody wants something similar, and I finally achieved it, temporarily at least. So I'm proud of myself. And it didn't actually click in yesterday that it was going to be something that stuck so much until, you know, being introduced to that person who was like, wait a minute, I know you, but I don't know you at all, type of deal. Let's see if this thing is actually going to work out properly. And obviously I have to come back and clean out these dirt blocks at some point. 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2. 2, 2, 2, 2. That should be 3, 3, right? Is this the last one? Oh no, I'm only halfway done. That's annoying. 1, 2, 3. I wish I could speed this up for you guys. Through the magic of editing, I probably could. Jay Sano. without intro music. Jay Sano with intro music. Intro music remix. Jay Sano 19, Jay Sano 19. Jay Sano 19, Jay Sano 19. And 3. Okay. Done, done. Done, got it. We might be able to pull off one more layer, actually. Let me take a look. Ow. So, this, and if I were to do this, oh, I was trying to eat. Okay, so I can't cross that. So let's see what the next layer would have to hold. It would actually come in a little bit. It comes down a block, so let's work on one more layer and see in the center. So it's 4. 1, 2. I just want to see what it looks like when I get over to this corner. 4 and then 3, 1. 1, 2, 3. 1, and then an L. Oh, actually, this is going to be perfect. That perfectly will encapsulate this corner. One, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, center, 1, 2. Oh, that is beautiful. So this is, oh, creeper. I didn't bring my arrows with me, did I? I did not. Okay, here we go. Run. Taking a lot of lag from this. Get in bed. There's monsters. Is there monsters by this bed? Is there monsters by this bed? This bed? This bed's free. I'll take this one. I just want to go look at it real quick before I end this episode. Keeping in mind there is a creeper up here. And yes, I had some creeper problems. I don't know if I particularly had creeper problems or if there was some sabotage involved. Is he like stuck? I should grab my, there you go. I didn't even hit him. Wow. The lag is real. Okay, so this is essentially what it's going to look like from the outside. Like I said, color scheme will probably change, but I need to get that last layer finished and then go through and make it look all pretty. How do I get into this thing now? Come on. Okay, here we go. I am inside. I think it looks pretty good. And then this is perfectly there, not covered, despite what people think. It's not covered. This last layer will encapsulate it perfectly. I can go through and it didn't actually bring it in too terribly far. I could probably still work on, oh yeah, you know what? I could still keep layering it up. That's what I will do. I will keep layering it up, but just not putting things where this thing's actually covered up from. But anyways, I gotta end this episode here. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time.